In this video, I'm going to show you how to do this pink fresh summer makeup, which I think is perfect if you're going to a restaurant or a mall or a rooftop bar. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's get right into it with a lot of skincare. I'm going to be using this Youth Skincare Super Cream 5-in-1 with SPF 50. What I've learned recently from watching a lot of makeup tutorials is that skincare basically is half of your makeup. One great tip that I picked up is that while applying sunscreen, and you can already see it's quite a lot, apply it in two phases, because if you apply the amount of sunscreen that you're supposed to put on your face, it's just too much for your skin to absorb in one go. So the way to go about it is to apply it, half of it, then let it sink in for about 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and then apply the rest. In the meantime, I'm going to actually put on some lip balm. I love this one from Nivea. I don't know where I can still buy it. I bought this one in Thailand and it was also available in the Netherlands. This is my second repurchase, but now suddenly it's not for sale anymore, and it's very annoying because I love this lip balm so much. So if you have seen it somewhere, let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, I think I'm going to move in to the second layer of the sunscreen. My skin is very much a mixed skin, so my T-zone can be very oily while my cheeks can get very dry. Bangalore weather can get super hot, and this cream really hydrates my skin while not overloading my T-zone and making it extra oily. Not sponsored, by the way, nothing sponsored in this video. Now I'm going in with even more skincare because, like I mentioned, Bangalore weather can be super dry, and I'm going in with extra aloe vera gel from Patanjali. I really like this version with Kesar, which is saffron, I think, because I feel it's a little bit more moisturizing than just a regular aloe vera version. I actually put the aloe vera gel also around my eyes because this is the area that tends to get dry a lot. I sometimes even just use Vaseline around my eyes because it tends to get so insanely dry. More skincare. I'm going in with this beauty oil from Bare Beauty Skin. This is something else. This is a very light oil, but still it locks in a lot of moisture in my skin. You cannot compare it at all with, for instance, a coconut oil. This beauty oil locks in moisture in my skin very beautifully, but it's still very light and doesn't add extra oiliness to my skin. Final skincare base that I'm putting on before actually starting to apply makeup is Bare Beauty Skin Skin Gloss. It's an illuminating primer oil, and I love this one because it's so pretty. There's this pearlescent powder at the bottom, and when you shake it, it mixes with the oil, creating this beautiful pearlescent oil. Again, it's a beauty oil. It's much lighter than regular oils that you really shouldn't put on your skin, but this one creates an amazing base on my skin for all my makeup to not just stick on my skin, but also keep it hydrated during the day. Already, this is my skin before applying makeup. It looks a lot more moisturized and a lot more fresh before applying all of that skincare. But actually, I also like to use skincare for my base as well. This Misha Perfect Cover BB cream has been a favorite of mine for definitely 8 years. For daily use and regular shooting videos and stuff like that, I feel that this BB cream gives so much coverage while also keeping my skin moisturized and just making it feel natural. I'm just applying it with my fingers, and as you can see, it gives amazing coverage while not completely erasing my skin. I like the fact that you can still see that my own skin is underneath it. This Maybelline multi-use concealer is also a favorite. I do want to cancel out the dark circles around my eyes, but what I recently learned is to only apply concealer on the darkest spots of my dark circles and then erase it out in the lighter spots. Also, I'm applying the concealer to certain spots on my face where I want to, for instance, erase a pimple or a little red patch or an old acne scar. Something that I also just recently learned is to let your concealer dry halfway and only then blend it out. This way you will keep a lot more of the coverage, whereas if you immediately start blending it when it's still like completely liquid, it will look a lot more sheer and you will need to use a lot more product to get the coverage that you would get if you just let it dry a little bit in the beginning. Now that the concealer has dried up a bit, I'm going to be blending it out, but only on the edges of the concealer. Basically, I just want to make it melt with my skin while still keeping the coverage on the patches that I want to cover. Under my eyes, I'm blending the excess concealer from the dried spots under my eyes. So that way I will ensure that there is not too much product and prevent creasing as much as possible. To finish off the base and make sure that my T-zone doesn't get too oily, I'm going to set only the T-zone with a compact powder. I'm using this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder, which is for normal to oily skin in 110 porcelain. However, I am not a fan of it at all. I feel it dries my skin out way too much. That's why I also learned only to apply it to my T-zone, because if I apply it to the other areas of my face which do get dry, it just really doesn't look good. I'm also not using it fully under my eyes because that will definitely give me creasing, but I do use it on the eyelids because it does set the concealer well for the eyeshadow, which we're going to use in a bit. The final step for my base is this Bronze Goddess bronzer from Estee Lauder. I can't see the shade because the back is completely erased. That's how much I use this product. This is again a repurchase. Whenever I find a good product, I keep repurchasing it. Vlogging myself, I see everything back on camera. And if a makeup product doesn't work, it just irritates me so much. So that's why I tend to stick to a lot of favorites. And this one has just been phenomenal, this bronzer. I will link all of the products that I'm using down in the description below. And I'll also look up the number of this one because I'm sure I have it in an old video as well. What I'm doing is basically bronzing. I just learned that phrase recently. I just use bronzer to warm up my face, but also to contour a little bit and just give it some shape. I'm just using the brush that came with the bronzer because I actually really like it. But for my nose, I also make it flatter by squishing it. This way I can make the lines of my nose a little bit thinner than they normally would be using the regular brush. There we go. This is what it looks like before blending, and now I'm going in with a big powder brush for the large patches of my face and a smaller powder brush for my nose. This is my regular base. If I would be going to the beach or something, I would just be putting on mascara, doing my brows and maybe some blush, and that would be it. But this pink, how do you say that? Not pink glam look, but a little bit more of a pink fresh look is more of a look that I would do if I would be going to the mall, a cafe with a friend, maybe a restaurant, a rooftop bar or something like that. So yeah, we are going to go in with the pinks. This Etude House palette called Rose Bomb is such amazing and incredible value for money. I think it's a dupe of the Huda Beauty Nude palette, but the pigmentation for this price point is really good, and I like the fact that there are so many shades in just one palette, which all really go well with each other. So that's why I also wanted to do a look with this. I just think this is an amazing palette and more people should know about it. The first thing that I'm going to do is use this pink brownish color over my whole lid to make a base. The small brush that I'm using for the base is from a travel brush set that I once bought while I was traveling, and it actually does the job pretty well. The next thing I'm going to do is use this very dark red color, but very sparingly. I know it's super easy to get this beaten up eye look, especially with red eyeshadows. However, I've learned a trick. If you use it very sparingly and only in certain corners of your eyes, then blend it really well, I think it really works. The brush that I'm using for the darker shade is from Eco Tools. I found these in LA and I found them very travel friendly. They're super light but still get the job done. So I'm just putting some on the outer corner of my eye going in a little bit underneath and then actually blending up in the crease a little bit, not too much, because it's heavy. Time to blend. Let's see if I can make this work. One trick I definitely also learned from Bollywood movies is when you're using heavy eyeshadow, especially like this, to also not be shy to go in hard on the lower lash line and a little bit outside of your eye. It just makes the eye look blend more in with the face instead of just doing it on the eyelids. Now to brighten up this look and make it a little bit more lighter, especially for summer, I'm going in with this almost vanilla shade on the inner side of my eyelid. To finish off the look, I'm going to do a very small winged eyeliner and of course mascara. Especially for warm weather or summers, I really like a half eyeliner. So eyeliner that only starts at the half of your upper lash line, and then you just give it a little wing and it's still there, but it's not that heavy all in your face eyeliner. I'm not a fan of this Maybelline mascara, so if you guys have any recommendations, let me know down in the comments below. But this one does everything that it's not supposed to. It was another experiment of mine and which didn't really work out well. Now, before I get into my brows, this is a secret trick to make your eyes look even more brighter, but you have to be careful with it because the concealer might crease if you put on too much. So what I do is apply an extra layer of concealer, but underneath my dark circles, like this. And this, I can't even tell you, this works so well on camera, and especially if you're taking nice pictures. Oh, this will make your face look so much brighter. I'm not going completely in like a triangle or something, just an extra layer under my dark circles and let it dry. Now, before I get into my brows, there's something else that also needs to dry for the perfect effect. It's this Dear Darling tint from Etude House in, I don't know the shade, but I will link it down in the description below. If you love using lipsticks, but you've been struggling with them because of all the face masks that we have to wear, a lip tint is just everything that you've been waiting for. So this one is going to look super dark, but that's why I'm saying I need to let it dry, and then after that I will remove it for a subtle tint. This is also why I applied the lip balm in the beginning, because now when I apply the lip tint there will be no dry patches on my lips and the tint will look more even. Yes, I know this looks very heavy, but just wait for it until I remove the actual lip tint while I do my brows. I'm going to do my brows with this Ka-Brow Benefit Cream Gel Brow Color with brush. And I also had the pencil. I do prefer the brow gel over the pencil because one, it lasts at least 4 times longer. 2, you can adjust the shade a lot better. I feel the pencil is a little bit more difficult to control, and then also the brow gel brush gives you a lot more finer results than just the pencil. So yeah, if you have to choose between the pencil or the brow gel, I would definitely recommend the brow gel. I have tried them both. Also, whenever I spill some mascara, I always let it dry and then just brush it off like this. If you're going for the eyebrow gel, make sure to also brush it out for a more natural effect. Okay, time to finish this off. So I'm going to dab in the concealer, which is now really dried up, and blend it with the rest of my skin. As you can see, I'm really not going into this area. It will just cause creasing. So I do it around the area. And for this, because it also has dried up, I'm also not going to use a setting powder. A little finishing touch for the doll eye effect is to put a little bit of sparkle in the corner of your eye. I really love this Nars palette. It's an old limited edition. It has amazing colors, and especially this white color has a certain golden sparkle, like rosé golden sparkle to it. I love it. There we go, a little bit brighter. Finishing it off with a pinkish blush from LA Colors. I love that this blush actually has some golden shimmers in it. For the blush, I'm using the Real Techniques blush brush. This one is absolutely amazing and worth all of the money. And yeah, just going in for the apples of my cheeks. I definitely do not apply any blush or any highlighter into this area of my cheeks, and you may be thinking, well, neither do I, but sometimes I like miss the mark, and then when it gets on this area particularly, it really highlights all the pores there, and I don't like that at all. Blend. Then I'm going in for a little highlighter from the LA Colors Cheeky Blush and Highlight palette. This palette is absolute mad value for money. I feel the pigmentation is really good, and also the variety of the blushes and even highlighters in there is pretty good. One of the most beautiful things to do, especially for summer, is put highlighter on your temples. Love that. I am going to blend it because that highlighter is quite harsh. Now it's time for the magic. I got a tissue here, and this, oh, I think this, oh. The longer you leave it to dry on your lips, the more lip tint will sink into your skin. So if you want a very light effect, you just put it on and immediately wipe it off. If you want a little bit more deeper red lips effect like I wanted, you leave it on a little bit longer. Just cleaning things up around my mouth with a little bit of concealer, finishing it off with some lip balm. See, this is not lipstick. This looks a lot more natural, and also it will stay on a lot longer than most lipsticks that I have. The absolute finishing touch for your makeup is a setting spray, and I'm using this rose water from Sri Sri Tattva. Oh, it feels so good. Finishing touch. Just a little bit of beauty blender action on the T-zone, just to set everything and make sure it doesn't get too oily during the day. And this is the finished look. Now, judging from how many products I use, you may not have expected this quite light, fresh pink makeup to be the outcome. However, do keep in mind that each and every product that I use serves a purpose to keep the makeup on and looking good for quite a lot of hours in hot weather, hot humid weather, but also hot dry weather. If you enjoyed this video, do yourself a favor, put a thumbs up so I know you enjoy it and you want to see more of it. If you have any makeup tips for me or certain tutorials that I should watch, comment them down below. Also consider subscribing to my channel and joining more than 1,600 subscribers. It's free, and the next time I upload a video, you will get a notification. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!